Hey guys, Daniel here for Escaping Network. With everything going on in the news right now, we want you to know that we stand with those out there protesting for change. It's only going to happen if we all let our voices be heard and stand together. This is a very important time for all of us. So if you or someone you know needs help with resources or effective ways to cause this change and ways that we can donate and our listeners can help, please reach out to us at escaping.podcast@gmail.com or on our Facebook or Instagram pages. We stand with you and hope that together we can make this a better place. Thank you, and now on to the show. We're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Escaping Podcast.
The best podcast in Colorado Springs when it comes to all things geek, nerdy, and everything in between.
And by everything in between, he means those 88 miles it'll take you to get from here to the past. Today, we are talking about time travel. It's the first of our series. And if you hear a dog barking in the background, it is because we are recording at Chris's house. Thank you, Chris. I am your host, Daniel Rojas, joined as always by my other hosts.
Kills for Show, a.k.a. Black to the Future.
And Michelle.
Still no intro.
You didn't have an intro.
Yeah, well. It's the same way no one needs to check my sound levels, you know?
Oh, you are the intro.
I am the intro.
Can I still be COVID-free, Michelle?
Are you?
I think so.
Okay, well, allegedly.
Yeah. Maybe I have antibodies. I don't know. I could be a mutant.
Wow. Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. So
if you're a mutant, I'm smooth gonna be a purifier.
Just to kind of oh my god.
If I can't have it,
can't have mine.
You ain't gonna have it either. Snuffed out.
So guys, what's your favorite method of time travel?
Oh, not like I should be prepared for that question.
Hardest would be.
Yeah, it's not like I sent out this, right? On Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. If I could get in the TARDIS.
TARDIS is your preferred method. Yes. Why is that?
Oh, Jesus. I get the best companion, Doctor Who. Go to all kinds of
What if you're the companion?
Well, yes, I would be, but he would be. I'd be. We'd be each other's companion. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
What about you, Kelsey?
Right. I could go a couple different ways with this, but if we're talking like just in the gradual scheme of things, with all the pop culture, I think probably my favorite form of time travel might be from Legends of Tomorrow with the time ship and the fact that the ship debriefs them on the time period. They're also able to replicate clothing, currency, and anything else they need for that time period. So they're just not literally more or less fish out of water. Uh-huh. They're prepared aesthetically and financially too to operate in those circumstances. Because a lot of people just think time travel and like, oh, I'm there now. But then you have to realize certain things too, like what did they dress like? What money they use? What language are they speaking in this time period? Outside of just like English, but what's the slang of that time? Because we just up there talking about shit's lit and YOLO, and people don't even say YOLO no more. Like whatever, TikTok bullshit, whatever.
I don't even know the new lingo anymore.
Yeah, I barely do.
We're not young. Well, I mean, we're young on paper.
Yeah.
But we're not part of the cool kid crowd anymore.
Exactly. I'm at the point in my age where I'm not trying to know things. If I know the language, that's because I'm listening to rap music still. I'm watching like younger YouTubers talk about things I already like. So you pick up on shit subconsciously, then you reverberate it back up like in the right context. But yeah, I'm not absolutely, as I should say, I'm not actively on Urban Dictionary trying to figure out shit so I can use it in my everyday talk with people like, nah. I'm using the regular English, the regular English language.
See, I'll be making up my own stains and I guess analogies. Like, what is it? A broken clock is right twice a day. The other day I said a walked dog doesn't shit in the house.
You know?
Unless it hasn't been walked.
Actually.
Unless it hasn't been walked for a while.
That's the thing. You got to walk your dog. A walked dog doesn't shit in the house.
Yeah, it's funny because every time I do that, I get looked at weird. Like, what the fuck you talking about? But now you're going to openly say you come up with your own colloquialisms.
Yeah.
And now I'm the weird one.
I never said you were weird for it.
True.
See? So.
But you thought it, though.
No, I didn't think it. What?
I'm not going to steal it. I got my own.
If I hear you going around saying that a walked dog doesn't shit in the house.
Oh, I will.
Okay, see?
No.
God, appropriation.
But I can't admit it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just going to say it's going to poop in the shoe if it don't poop in the yard.
Oh my God.
It's called hip hop. I'll sample something, baby. I'll turn it to a hit again.
My favorite form of time travel, not that you guys asked, but
Because you did not give us the opportunity to. Just letting that be known.
is like from the movie Primer. Have you guys seen Primer?
No.
Holy shit, is that movie wild? But basically, the time machine. Let's say
Is that
you.
with Paul Walker?
No, what?
What
Oh,
year
you're
is
thinking
it?
of Timeline.
Oh.
Paul Walker had a time travel movie?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Gerard Butler was in that one as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
So what year did his Primer come out?
Primer came out. Shit, what was that? Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
I think you said to watch Primer and
Mhm.
totally stupid.
Yeah, I did.
The
But
main actor in it?
basically, the time machine. Let's say you want to go 6 hours to the past.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait in the box for what feels like 6 hours. But then you'll be in the past by 6 hours. It's crazy. It makes sense, and then you can't go any further in the past than when the
Because
machine
you'll
was
be in
first.
the box for 24 years?
Or no, but then when the machine was first turned on. So that's the 0 point. You can't go before that.
That sounds like Crazy Eyes erotic time travel story from Orange is the New Black.
You need y'all need to watch it, and then it gets wild because they start taking time machines inside of time machines, and someone's inside that one, and it goes into this whole fucking crazy.
Some
Is that
type
like
shit.
buddy traveling?
It's amazing. It's amazing. You guys
Hey,
need to
buddy,
see.
get in this one, and we'll go in this one, and we'll go there together.
Yes.
It's like a little Russian doll shaking.
Oh yeah, Russian nesting dolls. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So time travel was first really popularized by 1895 novel H.G. Wells' Time Machine.
Mhm.
And before that, no one had really messed around with the idea of time travel. You guys know that?
Mine
Word.
is Hindus and yeah.
Yes, it's in myth and it's in lore. People going to talk to the gods and then coming back down and time has passed, or they went under the water and
Yeah.
500 years have passed. Or you've even got like Rip Van Winkle who took a long nap, which I get because sometimes I'm in the middle of the day and I'm like a 15-minute nap. It's
And
now
how
10 p.m.
important was he to his family life that is let that motherfucker sleep?
He
on that
wasn't.
machine?
He was a bad father.
Oh, he was. You're right. I haven't heard that folklore in a long time.
But he was bad. He's like, I'm out. I'm gonna go bowl with my friends in the woods and get like lit.
he did. He took that jug out. He slept.
He just slept, man. But even in the time machine, no one really went to the past. It was always gotta go forward, gotta go see how it is. The only one that really started going to the past was Christmas Carol. And even that, he couldn't interact with his past.
That was time travel.
It was time travel, but he didn't interact. It's like he was watching a movie or he was in a holodeck that did not
Yeah,
work
because
with
it
him.
was to show you your faults.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the episode Saved by the Bell when Zach died and it took him back to a replay of his life and showed him the era of his ways. Which they were a lot. Nobody's perfect. But yes, I get it. And one of the things too about a time machine was that design of it the basis for Metrons from DC comic book Timeshare.
You know, probably, yeah. It's really similar.
Watching Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, I was thinking about that because I remember the Guy Pearce version of the movie and how he sat up in the chair is just like Metron style, and he was like more or less he knew everything because of the time travel. The Mobius chair.
Wasn't Orlando? Why can't I think of his name?
Bloom, George, Jones.
Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in that one as well?
Time machine.
The time machine. He was the virtual guide in the library.
I don't know.
Man,
I just remember Samantha Mumba was also in there.
Too.
what?
They had a brief TV show.
Yeah, they
that
did.
was- yeah. And I don't know why it got cut. I actually thought it was
It
pretty
wasn't
good.
good.
That's yeah.
Or good to enough people. Let's say.
I like some of the cheesy shows.
That's fair. You know, if it's good for you.
They call me Gouda for a reason. I like all my shows.
No one has ever called you that, Kelsey.
I like all my shows.
Everything comes with a nickname.
Yeah.
They do.
Kelsey will go and drink a glass of High C and be like, that's why they call me Juicy. No one's ever called him Juicy.
No, I won't let them.
Grocery shopping. That's why they call me King Super. Do they?
I will not let them call me Juicy. That's disrespectful. It is the B.I.G. But the King Super shit, I like that. Because I'll be getting bread, spinning. I'm not going to say
He's like,
you can take it.
You know, people know I love my brunch. That's why they call me King Chef. Fuck you.
They call me King Chef because it's going to take you a while to get served this meat, ladies. That's why.
Anyway.
You started.
So today we're talking about mostly time travel in movies. Mm-hmm. Guy Pearce's Time Machine was fun for what it was. I mean, if you go back, it doesn't really hold up graphic-wise. Yeah. Story-wise, still great. Mm-hmm. But one of the big questions here are, what are some of the needs and wants that lead to time travel in these situations? For Doc Brown in Back to the Future, it's purely scientific. Mm-hmm. He wants to go and review things and see what actually happened. It isn't until the end of the movie that it stops being scientific, and you're like, you're doing exactly the opposite of what you said you were going to do.
Part 1 or Part 3?
By the end of Part 1.
Okay.
Because by the end of Part 1, he comes right back to Marty and Jennifer. And then in Part 2, he's just doing it, but then also scolding Marty for wanting an almanac.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends. If you're going to the future, I think it's human nature to be curious. Mm-hmm. Doesn't always end well. But it's always, let me go see the future. But then as soon as they see the future, somebody wants to go and dabble with the past.
Yes,
and they're like, let me fix this and see if I can change that. And things just get screwed up.
And we'll get into it when we talk about comics in a later episode in time travel.
See.
But the X-Men just need to stop fucking with time.
Yo, if society would just stop fucking with them, they wouldn't have to resort to that type of action or that response.
Speaking of X-Men, and in the movies, I believe one of the movies you picked was Days of Future Past.
Yes, I did.
What are some of the needs and wants that facilitate that time travel there?
They want to live, and the humans keep revealing shit to kill them. And now they're at a point where they can't combat these highly evolved and advanced Sentinels, because in this future, Sentinels are not only killing mutants, they're killing anybody with the genetic potential to birth mutants. So now they're affecting the human race as well. Because like, all right, we don't have to destroy mutants if we stop them from being born. Mission accomplished.
Right.
So in this future, all shit's going to hell. Mutants and humans are in concentration camps. It's dystopian. People are dying left and right. There are barely any heroes left to fight. And in the comic book, it's focused a lot on Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, much so in the movie. But of course, the movies and the comics are never very close. But this is pretty close that they could get.
Except with Kitty being the one to send Wolverine back. When did you get that power?
Exactly, and that's the thing too. I was going to bring up, like, it would have been different if that would explain, like, somehow, like, if she could phase through matter, she could phase through time.
Yes, yeah, no, way, it's another secondary mutation or whatever.
But no, it just happened. Like, you already have Charles there. Charles evolved, and they figure out a way to use Cerebro to send a consciousness back through time via the astral plane, because all thought, present, past, and future is all in there. Like, if you're familiar with the astral plane, you know what I'm talking about. If not, just Google it. But
that's a rabbit hole that a lot of people may not want to fall down.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they would explain it like that, like, cool, astral plane, Charles, I get it. But they use Katie as Kate, or Kate, as she likes to be known now, Miss Pride.
If you're nasty.
Exactly. And the movie used her as a conduit to send Wolverine's consciousness back with the assistance of Charles to his younger body, because you need somebody that's alive through both time periods, and Wolverine was the perfect one. Also, they need somebody that mind could take that stress of all that new information and basically being rewritten, and Logan's brain is more or less being fucked with.
So the need is there, and the person who can facilitate that is Wolverine.
Exactly.
So with one of the ones that I had with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, it's one of my favorite versions of time travel, because it's the whole, even if you're going to the past, when you were experiencing it the first time, you were already there in the past doing the things that interact with it. It's a closed loop.
Is that the one where Harry was actually the one at the lake with the wand, and then they seen it, then they found out it was him going back? I always thought that was Order of the Phoenix.
No,
I always thought that was Order of the Phoenix for some reason. That was Azkaban?
That's Azkaban!
Oh, shit, with Gary Oldman?
Yeah.
Oh.
A whole new director, and there's that scene where the butterflies flying through and showing you the new Hogwarts, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yo, is that when Hermione came back as a woman? And they was like, oh, shit, Hermione out here looking like that?
No.
That was in that one?
No.
I was like, man, I don't remember that now.
Or was that Goblet of Fire? Like when Ron started being like, oh, yeah.
Ron noticed right around Goblet of Fire, because that's when she was with Victor Crumb. But that's not the point of this.
And that's my favorite one, too, FYI.
The point is that the fact that they were already going, the needs and wants are almost unnecessary because it's already happened. And then when you realize that he's the one who saved them at the lake from the Dementors, then it's not even a need, it's a responsibility. Because you can't break the timeline.
Yeah, that makes
What about Arrival? What are some of the needs and wants that lead to the time travel there?
The needs and wants for that is the heptapods have already lived this future. So they know in 3,000 years from our current timeline,
Spoilers.
they need our help.
Yes.
So that initiates the heptapods arriving on Earth and
Hence
appearing.
the name Arrival.
Yeah. And then, so Amy Adams, who plays the linguist,
Lois
goes up
Lane.
and she learns all of this. And that's the main reason the heptapods first came. But then it was through the language, which turned out to be, they gave her the entire alphabet towards the end.
Okay.
Well, towards the middle. And then she realizes when she broke it up, it was a circular time. So the thing about Arrival, it's not a conventional time travel film. It's more of a mental time travel. So through this language, circular language, she realized that's how the aliens see it. That's how the heptapods view it. So they've already lived their future. So you see from the beginning how sad she is.
Oh, yeah.
And she's depressed and she keeps seeing this girl. And you realize at the end, that's her daughter in the future that had died. That's why she's so sad in this current timeline. Because it's already happened.
Yeah.
But now she's back to this timeline. And
the circle continues.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It starts off with the vibe of Endgame, like when Hawkeye's family dies, and after, like in the Infinity War, when Thanos went and everybody ashes, just had that ominous, just like sad vibe from the beginning through
Sets the
a
tone.
lot of it till you realize, oh shit, this is a time travel movie disguised as an alien first contact film. Then once you realize that, and that gives it rewatchability because you realize it's almost like a totally different movie.
Yeah.
Because you're waiting for the humans to react and kill each other, go to war with aliens. Like, no, we come here in peace. This is what the message. We gotta fix your heart and your soul, girl, so you can. Yeah.
See, and those are some of the best kind of movies. Not a time travel movie, but Nicole Kidman in The Others. Yeah, where you're watching this whole movie about a family being haunted, and then you realize that the family is the ghosts that live in the house.
Is that the one with Daniel Craig? Nah.
No, that's
What's she in the movie?
that's Invasion.
Invasion.
It was a remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
And that wasn't Nicole Kidman in that one?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
And Chloe Reese or Chloe Grace.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, was she in that too?
Hit Girl.
Yeah. The others was where she had the two kids and they thought they were like allergic to sunlight and she had to protect them.
How could they vampire?
Well, no, they're ghosts. They can't leave the house.
Yeah.
Does she know this?
No.
No, but she
No,
made them.
they think their
she
house is
knows.
haunted.
Yeah.
She
knows.
wondered, oh, your babies ain't real. That's why. Ain't shit.
But
Alright, I might have to
the
watch
whole
that shit
family
now.
is a ghost, and then by the end, you realize that the people who have been haunting them are paranormal investigators who are like trying to just rid the
The
house.
Ghostbusters are the.
Yeah.
Yo, all right, I'm gonna write that shit down. That shit sounds good.
But speaking of movies, Jeremy Renner was in Arrival, and he was also Hawkeye in Endgame, which was another one you did.
Yes.
Are the needs and wants actually valid there? Because you and I kind of had a conversation.
Yes.
It's almost selfish.
It's selfish to a degree, but once you put it in a scope of
Oh, we're talking about Endgame.
Yes.
Okay.
how they felt, like it would be different. Like they lost a squad of Avengers, or just like I don't know, a bus of people, but it's just the half the population of the known universe. So that's a lot of life that's just been snatched away. I'm not gonna snap on it, but I could.
I saw you. Yeah, you're about to.
I stopped myself, but. Without their choice, without their knowledge, they couldn't get ready to say goodbye. It just was taken away from them without their choice. So that is not fair. And they were supposed to be heroes. They were supposed to prevail. They were supposed to fight the evil and win. They did not. So seeing how they couldn't keep living going forward, just seeing how the world was, to them they were like, what's the worst that could happen? they could have easily written reality and just scratched us. They'd be like, if we go back and fail, we already failed. But if we go back and win, we're the ultimate heroes.
Okay, so in your mind, I guess in your argument, the needs and wants are very valid because it was half of it snatched away, as you said.
They're valid. I understand why they chose to do it. And I also was okay with Tony being like, nah, I'm fine. Like,
Tony
I tried to figure
had
it
the
out.
most to lose.
Exactly. I tried to figure it out. I went on. There's nothing I could do about it. Let's live our lives. But as soon as he had that opportunity, after he figured it out, he was like, I gotta say, I'm cool with Cap. Like, we gotta squash this shit up. If we can, we will. Because fucking, like Gwyneth Paltrow said, motherfucking Pepper was like, I'll be able to sleep, but I know you won't. Can you sleep knowing that you can do it?
But you're not going to?
No way in hell. Because you already been here secretly still trying to figure out time travel on the low.
So, okay, I guess that brings me to my next question. Are these protagonists worthy of time travel? And that's a weird question because who's really worthy of time travel? I would argue that Doc Brown at the beginning, totally worthy.
Yeah.
It was his creation and he was going to use it responsibly just to view the past, view the future.
For me, Amy Adams, her playing the linguist, it was because at the end of the film, she says, even though I knew what would happen, I didn't change anything and I let that life happen.
Yeah.
She knew she would lose her husband. She knew her daughter would die. And she still made no effort to change anything.
Yeah, absolutely worthy of time travel there.
Yeah.
The Avengers, I don't know.
But then again, who am I to say who's worthy or what?
Yeah.
I guess
Worthy of time travel, that's all semantics. That depends on your definition. What's worthy of me might not be worthy to somebody else. And Thor didn't feel worthy himself, but he found out that he was. That his cost was just.
I guess I would say for Endgame, Tony's worthy because he found a way to do it and not disrupt what had happened.
Okay.
The rest of the Avengers maybe wouldn't have done it that way.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we already seen him trying to, like with the Hulk. He was like, this shit, we just gonna try some shit. I don't know what the fuck's
Yeah,
going
who
on.
knows?
I have a god complex.
Yes, exactly.
Even though Tony may with his tech and everything, but he's still very human based and he fights that.
He's a futurist.
Yeah.
But even the literal God himself, Thor, was like, I'm good, man. Like, I accepted this. I'm an ass. I failed. I have to live with my mistakes for the rest of my immortal, quote unquote, life. But then you have a group like the X-Men who I feel is who are absolutely justified in their means because in this future, no matter how long they go on, it's not just mutants that die. So that will give them just cause alone to saving their race and these people from going through all this shit. But also the entire planet is vetted. They have to go back and do this so the world could live in prosperity a little longer than they had the opportunity to once they know this is what happens. That's only the right thing to do as a hero. Where they hated or feared, they have to do the right thing because that's what's at their core, coexisting. And we can't coexist and none of us exist.
But then there are also characters like, okay, Hermione aside, because I think she's worthy. She's using it for more schoolwork. She knows how to do it responsibly. Hermione is possibly the most responsible character with time travel, I would say. In Hogwarts. Because other people are like, I'll just use it for whatever the fuck I want.
I would.
Yeah, no. But then you've got other characters that are neither worthy or unworthy, like Marty. He's a victim of circumstance. Yeah. He just saw his friend get killed. He's just trying to take the car and get out of there. And Ash Williams.
In Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, yeah. He's not worthy or unworthy. He's just there.
Yeah, he didn't mean to get thrown into medieval times with his chainsaw hand.
Yeah.
But he did. And then he had to go save the princess from the witch, right? Yeah. I was like, was it the queen or princess?
I don't know. I've never seen the film.
Yeah,
oh my God.
A little bit of a while. But
yeah.
So, wait. I totally played out. I blame the whiskey, the bourbon. You said he went back to medieval times?
Yeah.
That's why it's the Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best things is when he's there and he has the shotgun and the people.
And the dead are awakened by the Book of the Dead.
The Necronomicon.
Yes.
Is it the same franchise when you get the chainsaw hand?
Yeah, well, this is the second movie.
Yeah.
So
are you talking about the Stars TV show?
Well, yeah, but that's still the same character.
Same
Ash,
character,
right?
yeah. He's been through all this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And same thing with Marty. He just happens to be there. But
I think it's when he's in the well when he puts his hand up and he gets the chainsaw.
Oh. And by the end of these movies, Marty's worthy. Ash is worthy.
Yeah.
They didn't plan it, but by the end, they've proven that they know how to do the right thing.
You know how to play the hero.
Yes. So, Another thing I really want to talk about is the butterfly effect of these decisions and these movies. Sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
Like with the X-Men. By the time you get to the end of Days of Future Past, it feels very much like the 90s cartoon X-Men with the university, not university, but the school and the mansion. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Other times, it's not so good. Much like the movie, The Butterfly Effect.
Whoa, the first one was cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right.
But look at how many of his decisions caused, hurt here, or him being quadriplegic, or whatever it was.
Because you can't tell the ramifications of your actions until your actions have occurred. Because we always could plan for things, but you never know until they become reality. And that's one of the dangerous things too about time travel and the butterfly effect. Like, oh, let me move this person from this segment. Well, if you do that, boom, Groundhog's Day. This happens, then that leads to this, then leads to that. Go back in time. All right, I won't do this. I'll do this, that. That leads to this leads to that. Everybody's connected into this intricate web of movements that we all affect each other and the world, whether we realize it or not. Even it doesn't matter how minuscule our lives may seem.
Yes.
Like once you put a piece into the puzzle, it's a piece of the big picture, and you remove that, the picture changes completely. So,
well, and going with that, sometimes it's you saved someone from dying, but now there's someone in the world who was supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
And the universe will make up for that.
Final Destination.
It'll have to balance out.
And have you guys seen it's a chick flick, but it's about time?
Oh, you're talking about Time Traveler's Wife?
Yeah.
No. It's the one where
it's called About Time with
the guy from the guy from
she's always in them.
Yeah, she was in Time Traveler's Wife too.
But I forgot she was.
It was the guy from Ex Machina. I want to say he was also General Hux, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, the red hair dude, and he was traveling through time because every day.
Yes, his dad tells him all the men in our.
Like all of them.
I did see that. That shit was fucking adorably sad.
It was very adorably sad.
And like all of the rules that his dad had didn't really cause. He was like, it doesn't cause any catastrophic unless you have a kid and you go beyond the point the kid was born. Then you lose that original kid and you have a different kid. I'm like, whoa.
And he's like, how do you know that? How do you know that, Dad? And Father? How do you know that?
And that was a curse placed on his family, right?
Was it?
Because in Time Traveler's Wife, they explained like he had a chronological disorder, like a genetic.
You say that in About Time.
No. In Time Traveler's Wife, it's like Benjamin Buttons, but instead of aging backwards, you go through time.
Yeah, but they explained it like genetically. There's a strand. I'm like, I read comic books. You said genetically, this happens. It's weird. Yeah. But in that one About Time, I thought it was like some old school like.
I don't believe so.
It was just the men in the family could do it. But they didn't say anything about it.
They might not explain. They might just it happens like The Notebook. Not The Notebook, my fault.
Get the fuck out of here. The Lake House is the worst time travel movie I've ever seen in my life.
No, it is not.
Oh, you people.
It is fucking amazingly awesome. It's a magic mailbox. You fuck with Blue's Clues, don't you? Yeah. Here's the mail that never fails. It makes me want to work.
At first, when I first watched it, I was like, is it like parallel universes? Like they're just interacting, and then you realize it's
like damn, that mailbox is awesome.
Yeah. My luck, I would get some random mailman I was sending letters with. I'm like, I'm sorry, just take it back.
You're not telling me in the future, you're just a creep.
So some of the butterfly effects that I wrote down watching Back to the Future, because when Marty goes back, yes, maybe worthy or unworthy or just none of the above, he immediately starts changing the future. Mm-hmm. Twin Pines Mall becomes Lone Pine Mall because he runs over one of the pine trees. Oh. And, then he starts affecting stuff that is a little questionable because Goldie Wilson was always going to be the mayor, but then he's like, oh, I gave him that idea. It's like, really? You were the one who influenced the black man to become the mayor? Okay.
Somebody had to.
He was already motivated.
I'm just saying, somebody had to.
But going through and like the fact that he invented the skateboard, that he gave Chuck Berry the song that he already knew from Chuck Berry.
I don't like that.
Yeah. See? And then there's a couple other things that I take a little bit of a problem with. Like, yes, Biff is an awful person and a rapist who should be neutered, but they ruined this man's life. Mm-hmm. They made him a... you don't want to say soy boy cuck, but he's there and he's like, I'm just gonna do everything for this one guy who beat me up once. And he's this sad human. Like he could have been rehabilitated. He could have gone full.
So that's what everybody imagines of their bully.
Yes. Yeah. It's weird, man.
They turned the Juggernaut into Toad.
No, the Toad who was Wolverine and the X-Men who was the janitor.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
And he's like shaking while he's giving Marty the keys to his truck and be like, you know.
Or like in Marvel X when the magnetic pole shifted and Toad got Magneto's power, and Magneto was sitting there like, yeah, now you know how I feel.
So those are some of the different butterfly effects, but what other ones have, like, you know, like Harry Potter doesn't have any because, again, closed loop.
Army of Darkness, you kind of see, when they turn it into a TV show, how the Necronomicon came into modern times.
Yes.
And it really should have just stayed where it was.
Definitely should have stayed where it was.
But that creates a lot of issues.
Word. And
It's also a great show.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I was just about to say, because sometimes the butterfly effect can be beneficial, because that's the thing about time travel. You want it to be affected in some way, shape, and form. That's why you're doing it in the first place. Like for this might not be the best example of like how it turns out better for the heroes, because we have yet to see it come to fruition. But in Avengers Endgame, we all know what scene I'm talking about when I say the Avengers go back to save the day. They get the Tesseracts, fuck around and drop it, and guess who picks it up? This boy Loki. He just he does
the Rubik's Cube
with it, and he gone. And then he gone. You're like, ooh, and we're all like, they did that for a reason. Well, how is it going to affect that timeline?
Well, and the ancient one even says, look at what you're doing. Look at all the different timelines.
Now we got to wait till the Loki TV series to see how that.
I can't wait. And it already got signed for a second season.
Exactly. How that affects the future of that timeline and multiple timelines without getting deep into that. And we can see what happens due to the butterfly effect of Days of Future Past at the end of that movie when Wolverine comes back too. He see Jean, see the boy Cyclops with a fresh visor. He see that boy Beast with a low top fade, looking beasty like, and they're like,
and it's Kelsey Grammer.
And it's Kelsey Grammer, which all I wanted was Kelsey to be Beast. Like they could have kept Kelsey as Beast instead of the boy Nicholas Hoult.
So you're saying it would have been all the young X-Men, and then you've got Frazier coming in saying
he aged slow, and once he becomes Beast, he's always a Beast.
But you can't tell they were young.
But he's a mutant, and mutant bodies don't give a fuck because he always looked like a beast since he was if we're going to be common accurate, ever since he was a teenager, he was beastie. So he can easily...
wouldn't have fit in.
No. You've got all these teenagers, and then Kelsey Grammer's like, hello.
And that's why he didn't fit in with the X-Men. That's why Jean didn't like him. She all about Slim. Think about it.
I agree.
It could have worked. It could have, if they really wanted to. If they were smart that way, they did. Like fuck it. That's why I like my X-Men. Certain X-Men grown, like in X-Men Evolution.
Sure.
They had grown Wolverine, grown Storm, grown Beast. Because Wolverine's not going to work as a mid 25-year-old character. Fuck that shit.
I don't know. I mean,
Storm, young, could work either way. I prefer a veteran Storm, so she can lead the squad.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, I don't want to seem creepy when I check her out on screen.
Yeah.
I want to check her out because she is to be respected. She is a goddess. She is of the white light magic. She is a hero. How dare I subjugate her to her physical female form? I will not do that. Wakanda forever.
So going into another butterfly effect in movies, there's one that we always seem to talk about, even when we're not talking about time travel, because it's come back time and time again.
I know what you're about to say, the Snyder Cut with the Flash.
No, I would not talk about the Snyder Cut, and I'm not going to.
That was my segue.
I hate you. No, fuck you. We're talking about Looper. We're going to talk about Looper for a second.
Oh, we're not going to talk about Time Cop with John Claude Van Damme.
We're going to watch Looper. It's been so long, but yeah, it was a great film.
Looper. The dude just comes right back and decides, no.
Yeah.
And Looper was low-key Akira the movie. Like, they shoehorned that in under the low
ski. Go kill yourself. Just do it.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, when you start off as Joseph Gordon-Levitt on the third rock from the sun, and then you grow up to become Bruce Willis, and then you got to go, get yourself killed. Maybe at some point,
Robin.
So we see where the butterfly effect hits. We see movies like Looper where it could be a better future, if not just kind of fucking up the lives of everyone around you. We see movies like the butterfly effect where maybe the best choice is for you to either original cut, leave the girl alone, or the extended cut and kill yourself in your mother's womb.
My thing with Looper, though...
Self-abortion?
Mm-hmm.
My thing with Looper, though, is like you've already seen your future. You already lived it once. Do you really care if you off yourself when you have to go back?
I wouldn't. Yeah. But then again, I'm not that other version of me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, yes, it's a loop.
I would have been like, it's
but,
exhausting to do this twice.
Yeah.
Screw it.
but then, you know, with the butterfly effect, you see, like, Marty McFly's life, it went better for him. Mm-hmm. For Biff, not so much.
Yeah.
For Doc, I mean, he's not dead. But then you have to ask yourself the question, do the ends justify the future that you now find yourself in?
Word. Did the term Biff and it come before Back to the Future or afterwards for fucking up?
We're going to have to go ahead and turn to a researcher for that, and we'll get an answer for you on Facebook.
If you look at Arrival, I mean, even though the movie is circular and whether you watch it forward or backwards, like, it's all the same.
Yeah.
But if you take it from forward, the way that they show it to you, had she changed anything, it would have never ended the same.
Okay, yeah, so...
But also, there's not too much room for a butterfly effect in Arrival because the key thing is future is set in stone. Whatever you do in the past is not going to change anything.
Right,
exactly.
right.
So,
I like those ones where even when you're making changes in the past, the timeline realizes that it's quote-unquote sick, and the antibodies will come in no matter what outside force that is and correct it.
Just like in Lucy. Because Lucy was low-key time travel as hell. Hella anime. That's why I didn't recommend that movie to everybody. Because just that concept of you seeing the beginning of time, you being part of time,
right?
All loops back into itself, just like with Dr. Manhattan, even with Arrival. If you believe in time being circular, like there's no beginning, there's no end. It's what happens, what doesn't. And then you branch off from the parallel timelines. Then there's a separation between parallel timelines, parallel universe. And it is what it is. But if your timeline's set, then it really doesn't matter what you do, because what you do has already happened. That's why sometimes I joke about, well, it doesn't matter. What happens. I'm already gone, so let me enjoy what I got right now. Like, shit.
Yeah, we are future fossil fuel.
We're just waiting to catch up to our end, which already has happened. Because that's just the time stream.
Dr. Manhattan is one of the most depressing characters.
Is it though?
I wouldn't say depressing because he doesn't feel it that way.
Exactly.
He doesn't, but watching his
Sure. You can empathize into that way. Is it empathy or it'd be sympathizing?
Sympathy, empathy.
I'm not completely emotionless, so it's like watching his character. I'm like, God, that sucks. Like,
sure,
you realize how hopeless human race is. You're trying about.
Tell me about it.
It'd be like to a degree.
A history book.
I mean, to a degree, it's like if Spock didn't have that human side, and you watched him make choices, and you're like, oh, you're just.
Yeah.
Or is that his Romulan? Because doesn't he have? Is he Vulcan and Romulan?
No,
he's not.
No.
Which one was the have?
It's human and Vulcan.
He's human and Vulcan. Okay.
Yeah. So he does battle a little bit, but not as much.
But he keeps that shit in check. Yeah. Whereas Dr. Manhattan doesn't have to worry about keeping it in check because it's just purged.
And he already knows what's happened. Mm-hmm. He already seen it. He lives every moment as it's the same moment.
His moments are a BLT sandwich.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I love.
Yeah, that's what's sad.
Bacon, lettuce, tomato, beginning.
No, before, later tomorrow.
Yes. Wait.
You really put bacon in there?
No, BLT. No, I was trying to say that.
Yeah.
But later and tomorrow, I was trying later.
Okay, so before.
Later tomorrow?
No.
Before. Like now.
We're going to go with like now for right now.
And tomorrow.
That's the end. Bacon, lettuce, in, tomorrow. Before, later, now, tomorrow. Yes, we got it. We did that. I put a C in there because I like cheese on mine. So it is, a little BLT with a cheese slice. It's whatever though.
Anyway,
it's a grilled cheese sandwich with lettuce and bacon though.
So,
I was like, wait, what?
For the most part, even if these people aren't making the right choices, I think they all do deserve the future they end up in, because for the most part, their choices do affect it and have created that future.
Their intentions are noble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta throw it out there because I did watch all the Back to the Future movies. I have problems with the timeline, and Biff should have never been able to come back to that timeline in the second movie based on their own rules. But much like Doctor Who, their rules apply to them until they don't. Until they decide, not this time.
Well, that's
because it's called writing.
About time. It's a very cute movie, but there's so many holes. You
There's
just go
loads
in a dark
of holes.
Space, punch your fist, and you're in another time. Like, what is your power?
Yes. It's not set. It's so loose that it could be anything.
And then it's like things are so back and forth. It's like, do you even follow your own rules?
Right. Yeah.
They're not gonna remember.
No.
Who pays attention to plot in movies?
Yeah.
Keep that money. They don't care about us. Michael Jackson said that shit.
I'm like, a physicist would look at About Time and be like, what the fuck just happened?
This is kind of a movie.
It doesn't make sense because according to theories and quantum physics, like
It doesn't exist, but if it did,
it would be like, so you just know now.
Which is very similar to comic book writers when they want to, explain a big thing.
Which
they
makes
use
more sense though.
Sure.
Comic science.
Comic science is a thing.
For real. I'll be trying to read it, but
question.
I don't know. I can't use this in a general conversation, but watch me try.
If either of you had to go future or past,
Oh no, it's got to be the future. It's got to be the future because in the past we're probably more likely to get killed. Hosed
had
down.
that not been an issue.
Now, if had it not been an issue, future.
Huh?
I don't think
go ahead.
I don't think I could handle too many timelines where there's not a working toilet.
Good point.
Where
Yeah.
plumbing isn't a thing.
Yeah.
That's a big one for me.
And it's one of the shows that I want to talk about is Outlander.
Mm.
And
we'll save that for the TV show
but
episode.
yeah, bathing and all that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no. There's so many times
That's
where I always think, how dirty are their dicks? Like
Very much so. But speaking for myself, I've stated on various podcasts that you've listened to the reasons why I will not go back to the past the 80s.
yeah, there's a certain limit.
I'm not even going to go into that right now. So obviously my answer would be the future.
Yeah, but had it not been, let's say that had not been.
Well,
is there like a time era you would have wanted to see?
Even if it didn't pertain to me, I would still have to witness the injustice to people.
No, you're not hearing me.
I didn't hear you. But then I had to say what I had to say anyway.
Let's say none of this injustice happened. Let's say people knew how to treat each other.
Yeah, I was just being a smart ass. I know what you're asking me, but I had to put my 2 cents in.
Say,
like, yo, that changes the whole class.
Yeah.
But
and say this time era and this clothes. And
like if I didn't have to deal with reality, it would definitely be the time period of Jesus, the Earth's first mutant. So I have to see what he was really like.
I'm going to stop you right there.
No,
Jesus was not the first mutant. Let's pretend the Bible is real. Jesus isn't the first mutant. It would be Moses. Get your shit together.
Moses got his power from a staff.
Sure he did. Sure. And then he transmuted that staff into a snake.
That's some door shit.
It's not. He used his powers and he said it came from the staff.
First Lilith?
Yes.
The first witch. But like I was trying to say, and my answer, not yours, Daniel. Like I was trying to say, I would go back. I would see what was up with Jesus. Yeah. Then I would go back to Atlantis to see what really caused that motherfucker to crash. Then I'm like, yo, let me see the birth of mermaid. And then I go back to the 70s and disco the fuck out.
So what do you do?
He said birth of mermaids and then disco.
What do you do if you go back to Atlantis and you see the people from Atlantis, the Lost Empire, the Disney movie?
Mind you,
that's cool.
Atlantis and Hercules are my 2 favorite Disney films.
Wait. Who would you like to play Hercules in the live action?
This is not
me personally. I would say a Hemsworth, preferably Chris.
Isn't
but I would be okay with Liam.
Mythology month.
But still, I'm just asking this real quick. Like I would like
hold that
Liam
inside till we get to mythology.
I would like Liam Hemsworth as Hercules, or even Chris. But I know Chris
We're trying to get somebody that's like middle aged, not.
Wait, middle age?
Chris Hemsworth is Thor.
No, for Hercules?
Yeah,
he's like 25.
I said Chris.
Yeah, but the man
or Liam.
Middle age, not Liam Neeson.
No, Liam Hemsworth.
The younger Hemsworth.
I didn't think I said Neeson. If I did, that's my apology. I meant Liam.
Your brain just filled in Neeson.
Yeah. No. Fuck racist. No.
I want Gary Oldman to play Hercules.
I was like, what is that?
Liam has a build. He could be young, burly and shit like that.
I heard Liam and I would.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine though. That's just my personal thoughts. I fuck with Hercules. I fuck with Greek mythos.
So,
but anywho.
Final question for you guys. Oh, yeah. Final question for you guys before we get to the end of the show. Picking one of the movies that you watched and decided for this, how do you think you would handle it? How do you think you would handle that time travel?
If I was in one of these movies?
Yeah, pick one of them. And how do you think you would?
I would die in Army of Darkness.
Yep.
And Arrival, I think I would be the linguist.
See, yeah, I can see you doing that. I can definitely see you dying in your darkness.
Yeah, it would be done.
But linguist.
My problem wouldn't be even the zombies or anything. It would be when I fall in the well and there's water and I don't know how to swim. It's done. Like,
but I
5
thought
seconds
Asians
in.
had light bones, so you wouldn't be able to like float read.
Just float on
That's
my
why,
back.
that's why you can jump from tree to tree and cut people's.
Literally never heard this stereotype, and I gotta shut it down right now.
It's a funny thing. I
Bird
used to
flu,
make comments
right?
about
Bird
ninja
bones.
films with my mom, and then she said, and I remember one night, and I was like, well, they just jump around and they fight you. Well, they used to. At one time period, and then you just stop.
The 70s.
All right, I'm
The
on.
same.
Because if it's your mom, it's the olden days, but it's not anything before 1900.
Yeah.
You know?
All myths are based on some source of truth.
So
well,
apparently we did.
So maybe
We're gonna get into that for our mythology month, and there's
to keep the
tons.
higher ground.
I'm ready
That's all
for
I'm saying.
mythology month because there's stuff I want to get into that every different culture had that was
Yeah.
similar, and then said
Not all of us like chicken.
yeah.
That's a myth. How about that?
What?
Oh, not that mythology.
We're not
Okay.
talking about that
All right.
mythology.
All right,
Everybody
my
loves
bad.
chicken except vegans.
Exactly. And they liars. They liars because they make shit that one that tastes like chicken.
Exactly.
So okay. So what about you, Kels?
They like the flavor, not the source. I would totally die in X-Men Days of Future Past. 'Cause everybody dies in that shit. Point blank, period. So it's not even an option for me to slip out of that shit.
But Endgame, and keep in mind, you're not a superhero.
Oh, see, that's my other question.
Let's say you're Hawkeye going to the past. So you're the guy with the bow and arrow.
Mm.
If I was Hawkeye / Ronin, I could have survived that shit because I'm used to being powerless anyway. So it's okay. It's cool. And I just could go back and do shit I wanted to do back then. I might pull some sneaky Biff shit and invest in some shit or get a scratch off or play a lottery number. But no, that'd be fine because with the end game, we had a plan. Follow the plan. We're gonna work this shit out or improvise like the boy Cap did when he had to fight himself. Like, yeah, I know. Then it's like, Joe's like, oh, I know what to say now. Y'all niggas are snakes.
I would have been chilling with Loki, so we would have been fine.
Man, you just want to do the pokey with
That,
Loki.
that's yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
cool. I get
Am I
it.
wrong?
No.
No, you're fine.
No, yeah.
Right, you're okay. He wanted to be Thor, but he couldn't, which makes more sense because the actor, like, if you didn't know, Tom Hiddleston he auditioned for the Thor part, but he
I'm
didn't
so
get
glad
it
he didn't get it.
because Josh
It's like,
Whedon
no,
saw
it's like-
Chris Hemsworth on the set of Cabin in the Woods, like, that's Thor. That's how Chris Hemsworth got the role, but everything happens for reasons. But now that he played Loki wanted to be necessarily Thor. He wanted that admiration, wanted that respect, and that power and that placement just for the actor to want to be that
Which
role.
is in
too.
Norse mythology.
Yes.
It's across
And
the
did you
board.
watch Ragnarok on Netflix?
That has nothing to do with time
I
travel.
know,
We're keeping
I'm
up point.
I'm just asking her a quick question.
Oh, I started it, yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I have to say. I know how to do this, baby. I know how to do this, baby.
It's a great show.
That ain't my first rodeo.
I tried
Oh, I heard
My
that.
hand will just sit here in the air.
I just watched that whole thing happen.
Coronavirus.
So
Social distancing.
for me, I know that if it were Harry Potter, I'd use that time turner for all sorts of mischief. Like I'm not going to be as responsible as Hermione by any means.
Yeah.
Does the memory, the shit of him pulling his memory strands, does that count as a form of time travel?
In the same way that Christmas Carol does.
So you see the past, but you're not traveling to the past.
Exactly.
Okay, word.
So, but if it were Back to the Future, I know I'd fuck up time. I know I would, because I'd be out there and I'd be like, okay, I want to have some of that Coca-Cola that has the cocaine in it. I want to go ahead and...
I know that you would see something you didn't like and try to go fix it. And
Yep.
then you'd be like, doo-doo-doo.
Yep, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, time would be messed up
Like,
if I
don't
went
kill
back
him. He needs to make his music.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a racist, but we need those jams in existence.
Unfortunately, the Ballad of Davy Crockett did influence some other music that we need.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go full
He had
on.
a coonskin cap, right?
We don't talk about that.
No, like, he had the coonskin
Yeah, he did.
cap. Okay, I wanted one of those shit so bad.
Pretty sure that wasn't.
Yeah, Davy Crockett with the raccoon tail.
Davy Crockett,
Yeah.
king of the wild frontier.
I don't know. It's
Shooting
like
possums and
it's
shit?
mixed ideas on what that really meant. So
Yeah.
Oh, no, ain't no mix like this. We know he's out there doing it. Raping and pillaging and taking advantage of those that didn't speak the white man's tongue. We all know that. I'm saying he had hat swag. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That nigga Kel was gonna say he'll make me one with a raccoon face on that shit. Like, I don't need beef with Peter like that, bro. Put the tail in the back. If you run it over, cool. I ain't gonna say just go there and get a fresh one. If you want to. Anywho.
Everybody knows raccoons are my spirit animal.
You can have 8 spirit animals.
Yeah.
What are you, beast boy?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, she might be.
Okay, your body, your choice. Spiritually.
Mine is a badger, but that's just for me.
Mine's Kanye West,
is for a
so it's cool.
raccoon.
Yeah, what?
So what?
My spirit animal is Kanye West. I have multiple personalities. So one's Kanye, one's Andre 3000, one's Childish Gambino, one's a snow leopard.
I thought you were saying Snorlax.
No, and one's Raphael from the Ninja Turtles.
Okay, so
4 out of 5.
Sometimes they are.
So, time travel is crazy and weird, and apparently we can't stay on topic for it. But
What's the topic without it? And this is it, guys. Thanks for listening.
Tell us your favorite time travel movie, your favorite mode of time travel, and how you think you would handle it on our Facebook page or on our Instagram page. You reach out, let us know what you thought of the episode and what movies you would recommend for us to see.
Tell us whether you would survive in that time.
Absolutely. I will say one last time travel movie that is kind of time travel, if you think about it. Donnie Darko.
Yes.
And he's not worthy of it unless you count that he's stopping Patrick Swayze's character from being a child, a bit of pedophile.
Yeah.
Everyone else kind of would move on with their life and be fine.
Yeah.
Of course, you bring
It's
up
very interesting because
Darko.
Donnie and Darko, it's not only time travel, but you see the opening of portals. And
Yes.
even if you get into the second one, which is not great.
Don't watch S. Darko. Do not watch.
Darko was cool.
Are you kidding me?
I liked it. Nathan Scott was in
There's no reason for Frank's character or that rabbit to be anywhere in that movie.
Is there a reason for any movie to be created other than keep us docile when the world burns in front of us?
The reason Frank existed in the first movie was because it was the guy who accidentally killed his girlfriend, and that was his costume. And then you watch S. Darko, and it's like the rabbit is the portal man, and it's like no, it was fuck you.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No,
It happened. You
That
wouldn't
whole
agree with
movie
it.
didn't make sense.
It did make sense.
That movie is
was
right.
like a huge fan of Donnie Darko. I even told him, do not watch the second one.
It's
it
bad.
will ruin it.
It won't ruin it if you don't allow it to. Just because something new is created to the continuity doesn't mean it ruins the original aspect of it. It may tarnish the legacy, like when Michael Jordan came back to play with the Wizards. That's why we don't talk about that shit. We don't talk about that shit.
Out of that was Mariah Carey's All-Star Game dress.
We don't talk about that shit. We don't talk about the 6 rings. We don't talk about, just like Dragon Ball Z, we don't talk about GT. We don't
Or
talk about
evolution.
Exactly. We don't talk about evolution. We don't talk about Dragon Ball GT, and there's other shit in the geekdom. Like,
how are you going to try and make Dragon Ball a high school drama and have him sliding on his head over some dude's car, and then Goku's white and
All I'm saying is, if they didn't want to be portrayed as a white man, they shouldn't have drawn him as a white man. But
using the guy from what was that movie he was in?
I don't know, but I seen it.
The Invisible.
I seen him in a lot of, and he's a legit little dude. Like, he's cool. He can act and shit like that. But it's like, no, we ain't gonna talk about that shit.
All right, so thank you guys, obviously, every week for joining me. I love doing this with you guys. What's a time travel movie you would recommend? And anything you want to plug? Where can the people find you?
If you haven't seen Arrival and you didn't think it was a time travel film, I would say watch Arrival. Army of Darkness. Yeah, definitely. The 2 that I talked about. So yeah, and I'm Michelle or Emily Gideon on Instagram and Michelle Gideon on Facebook.
If you haven't seen this movie featuring Denzel Washington, which is criminal because you should watch everything with Denzel in it, he's a national treasure, will be Deja Vu. Yes, Denzel Washington had a time travel movie featuring Val Kilmer, and somehow about him getting in some fucking oven, like this rotisserie chicken warmer, he was able to travel back in time and stop a murder from happening. And that's all I'm going to give you. You never go wrong with Denzel. You should definitely check that one out. You should also check out Project Almanac. It was directed by the director of the latest Power Rangers movie. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of that Steadicam POV shot movie like Chronicle and not Super 8, but Cloverfield. So it's from that genre style, which became very popular in that time period. But it's one of the better ones, just like Paranormal Activity Mark ones. But yes, check out that time travel movie. And if you want to follow me on any social media platform, Kelsey DeAndre Greer on Facebook, Kels for Show on Snapchat and Instagram. Also follow Yo Where the Captures At anywhere you can. That's the second podcast from the Escaping Podcast Network.
The Escaping Network.
The Escaping Network, the EN, if you will. And that's where you can find me. And also now that things are a little more open back up to the community, you might be able to find me at a bar or three, doing what I've been doing during quarantine, because the same shit I was doing before we got into quarantine.
For me, I would always recommend Safety Not Guaranteed, Aubrey Plaza, Jake Johnson.
Shit.
Seriously, one of my favorite time travel movies. It's three
Is it time travel? Is he crazy? He put an ad out in a newspaper. Kids, guess what? The news used to come in a paper that used to get delivered to your house sometimes, or you could buy it.
And we used to walk 5 miles up the road in 12 feet of snow to school and back, and we only made a penny a day, and we gave half of our paycheck to our parents and used the other half to buy our first car.
And memes were called funny pages. Or comic strips.
So, if you want to check me out, I don't really post on Instagram a lot. Every now and then I will. It's probably a picture of my cat. It's Blue Morpho, one word where the O's are zeros on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Daniel Rojas. And be sure to follow our pages, Escaping Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear any music. If you or anyone you know has any music you want used on the show, reach out to us at escaping.podcast@gmail.com. Couple just notifications. We'd like to send our condolences to the family of Brian Eastin. He let us use a decent amount of his music. He and I talked a bunch about what he had planned for the future, and if you knew him, then you know that you're better for it. Today, we're going to leave you with one of Had I Known's songs, and it is called Ghostly Steps. Rest in peace, Brian. You are missed. And finally, if you haven't been watching the news, protests are still going on. We ask that, you keep it peaceful. We're not trying to get crazy out there, but your voices are heard and we stand with you here at Escaping Podcast. Yeah. Let us know if you need anything. Let us know what we can do to help and what we can do to support. Thank you all so much for listening. This is only part 1 of our time travel series. Next week, we are going to talk about TV shows. You better be ready for some Doctor Who because holy shit.
That'll be the whole episode.
It's going to be most of it. We love you guys. We do this for you, and we're so happy to be back here doing it. Remember, folks, you are not alone, and there can only be one chum bucket.
And the time is now. Whether you hate it, feared, you feel oppressed, whether you don't feel like your voice is heard, you can always be an escapee. Join us, listen, get out of your head, be a part of something that's all about unity. Past, present, future, you're always welcome in the Escaping family. Stay on camera, y'all. 'Cause